Welcome to the second most uncomfortable podcast since the Jerry Pete one. Yeehaw.
Hardest question.
Yep, I'm Golden.
The questions are fine.
Hello?
Fucking solid. Alright, let's do this. This is FNGR. Welcome to Limbo Podcast, followed by the following co-hosts. Okizuma.
Hello.
Fallen Wish.
Hey.
Sheldog.
What's up, Brony?
Yeehaw. And this week's King of Limbo, Corpulent Brony.
Hello.
Solid. I want to get out here and get this one out the way. Let's see. What was your high point for Bronycon and conversely your low?
Let's see. The high point in Bronycon was really getting to meet all the great people who, I've been talking to online, but hadn't yet gotten the chance to meet. So many of them were pretty cool.
Oh, does anybody leap at you?
You know what? No one in particular, really. It's just, all the PFC guys. It was really interesting. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with them like I probably would have. It was pretty cool the night of the podcast to have a room full of them, and it was basically like a PFC call, which was a little crazy at times, but entertaining still. And, I've got a really great friend, too, I got to go with and spend some time, and we did some cool little hijinks and stuff. Yeah, we had a good time. Low point, I didn't really have a big low point, it was a really fun convention.
All the driving.
I'd imagine.
No, I love to drive, so that's not an
Really?
issue.
Oh, I wanted to ask because I didn't see either of them there. Did you catch Tinker or Jay Holler?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Jay Howler. We had a dinner together once with Anthology people. That was a pretty high point too, was getting to go backstage for the Anthology premiere, help them record that.
Oh yeah, the Lately Pack.
Yeah, and getting to meet everyone, hanging out at the bar after. Actually, that night I didn't hang out with them. It was the next one. Sunday night we hung out at the bar with the Anthology people.
You've been to a series of different conventions. How would you feel BronyCon differs from what's the other ones you've been to?
The only ones I've been to are Grand Brony Gala,
Mhm.
which is a really, really tiny little one. And the other one is Pony Fair. It's been going on for at least 10 years, so it predates G4, and it's the only officially Hasbro sanctioned convention as far as I know. But it's a very different convention, obviously. It's more focused on the older ponies, although G4 has obviously made a bit of an impact on that one. But Grand Brony Gala is so much smaller. It's like a little baby convention compared to BronyCon.
All right, now this is I'm not looking to cause any trouble with this one, but I was personally pissed I couldn't find any buffets. Were there any in the area?
I don't know.
Yeah. I wound up going to the same 3 or 4.
My hotel I was on the executive level, so they had sort of a breakfast type of buffet. I think there was something too for lunch or dinner, but I didn't go down to that. They also had like free wine and stuff. I should have partaken more in that.
Well, you had to drive back. Recently, you had a chance to talk to Silver Eagle, the director of Ponyville Live. What was that like?
It was pretty awesome. I've never really spoken to him on a voice level before, so he was pretty cool. He had a lot to say about the early days of Ponyville Live and also the conflict that, the whole final draft thing. A lot of people are aware of the whole horsenews final draft thing. There was also a big PVL final draft thing that erupted, and apparently is still happening to this day for some reason.
Oh, specifically between Final Draft specifically, or that whole, the remnants of Everfree?
Yeah, it's mostly the remnants of Everfree. In fact, at BronyCon, Nash from EFN found out that I was affiliated with horsenews, and he actually purposefully disinvited me to a party. Because of that affiliation.
Did it sound like it was any good anyways, or?
No, it sounded horrible. I went to the Horse News finger quote party instead, but that was just Rarefag being high as a kite.
And they put him on it. Rarefag went on /MLP and publicly made Corpulent in charge of the party, right?
Well, this is different. This is a different party.
Oh, was it?
That was the Saturday night party that Rarefag in the morning, Saturday morning, accosted me as I walked in the convention center. It was like, "Hey, Corpulent." I'm like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" He's like, "We're going to have a huge party tonight, man. Keep an eye on the thread and on Horse News, And I said, "Okay." And then people start messaging me, "So you're going to run the party tonight, the MLP party?" And I'm like, "What?" He's making these posts saying there's going to be an old fat guy checking IDs because I'm going to be too drunk. But luckily they had, what's his face, the guy who wrote My Little Dashie there. He fits that description to a T.
Oh, Rob.
I was about to say the only person I know who got denied from that party I ran into Rhetoric.
Rhetoric,
And,
yeah.
I don't know, did what's his name?
Aperture Tech.
Yeah, Aperture Tech. Did Roar get in there?
Yeah, probably.
Or got kicked out, I think,
Did
at
he?
some point. Yeah.
Yeah, Roar was actually pretty decent outside of like screaming your waifu sucks at everybody. He was pretty decent to talk to.
That Saturday night, I did not go to any parties. I spent 6 hours doing a meme.
Yeah.
So I was busy with a couple mares
Nice.
in a photo shoot
Solid.
for Craigslist.
You've been in a lot of podcasts. I mean, obviously, like 3 or 4. I don't know. I've lost count. What do you say would be your top 3 guests of all the shows you've been on?
Well, I've never really run a show, but in the shows that I participated in, I don't know for top 3 guests. Purple Tinker was a very entertaining guest, as was Silver Eagle. Easy. I think Jay Howler was also super entertaining. Although that was so long ago, I really do want to have him back and see.
I actually wrote that down, and I was like, he did specifically ask about you. You guys probably should really definitely have him back. He was a blast to talk to. He seemed very probably come back on the show.
Oh yeah, and I talked to him at Bronycon a little bit. He mentioned it, I think, once to me. Said he'd be willing to do it. He's a cool guy. Oh, that was a huge point for me too, was getting to meet like M.A. Larson, Amy Keating Rogers, and getting to talk to them personally and not have to wait in a line or anything.
Yeah, that's why I didn't bother with the big show VAs, because I just assumed I'd be sitting there stuck down 3 or 4 hallways or whatever.
Yeah, that was one of the benefits of being in the press, was being able to talk to them personally. So.
How do you feel about Equistria Confidential, and how does that differ from, say, like Ponytonight?
Well, of the podcast, or?
Yeah, well, the co-hosts too. What do you like about it, and what don't you like about it? What's its strengths and what's its weaknesses?
Well, I think the greatest weakness is that not all the hosts are able to show up every week, so you never really know what you're going to get. But when they do show up, they're all pretty good for the most part. Sometimes some people can talk more than others and sort of drown them out in the podcast. But, Equestria Confidential, in comparison to Ponytonight, is more focused on the show.
Mm-hmm.
They don't often have guests. I mean, we had one on last week. We had a show writer on from the show, but that was like sort of a special thing.
What was
usually
his name? His name for reference for the listeners?
Nick Confalone.
Nick Confalone. And episodes Nick Confalone's worked on?
He did, what was it, Party Pooped, and he's got an Up the Hearth Swarming episode coming up this season.
How are you on spoilers before I say anything dumb and upsetting? Just vaguely, the premises for the episode, so I don't...
I love spoilers.
Okay, yeah. How do you feel about the next 2 to 3 episodes being rarity focused?
I don't feel very good about it.
What the fuck? I'm pumped, man. Fuck you. You're Pony, man. I don't care.
Anyways.
I don't think we need any more. I mean, I don't know if Rarity's
No,
going to be...
we haven't had Rarity episodes since Rarity takes... No, well, I guess inspiration. Yeah, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
See, but Amending Fences this season was the first Twilight episode, really, since it's about time. Or
and it was the best season 5 episode.
How difficult is it really working at Horse News and getting published?
Working.
Well, working with,
yeah.
interacting with Horse News.
Working with them, I don't really work with them, but as far as getting stuff published, it's relatively easy. I don't know, they're trying to be more professional, so believe it or not. One of the things they've said, basically, is that if it's an opinion piece or if it's an op-ed, because of a recent snafu that happened with one about Animated James, that basically, no matter what, they're going to go ahead and let that go through without question. But all they want is like articles to be like legible and have a standard formatting, and once that's achieved, they publish.
Oh, that's solid. I heard something you may or may not want to mention it. Rarifag getting in trouble. Is it something that they're keeping him on just every time Horse News gets yelled at? They'll be like, he's their go-to guy to blame for trouble? Or was that something he really got into for?
What is this about?
I heard, Sheldon mentioned to me something about like Rarifag getting in Bronycon. You remember that, Sheldon? Or
I didn't say that. He didn't get in trouble as far as I'm aware.
Must be got my wires crossed. All right, skip that. I'll cut that.
No, he was even wearing a suit and everything. He was trying to be all professional.
If anything, he was professional to the point that other people in Horse News were pissed off at him for being too professional.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way I'm cutting that out now. That's way too good.
He's a really awesome guy, too, by the way.
The time I did talk, came on with Tinker, he was a blast to hang out with. Say, what other forms of animated media are you a fan of? Disney, Pixar?
Nothing much. Pony.
Pony for life.
Yeah.
Corpulent really likes the animation that comes from called Japan. Japan.
No, I do not. No. Yeah. What is it? At South Park's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I forget, what country are they from again?
South Park?
Yeah, no, I'm just screwing around. What do you find something that's intellectually stimulating, Corpulent?
Work, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stuff I do at work, I do a lot of solving problems and puzzles at work in order to get at data. I find that pretty stimulating.
I have a question, Corp. You're very analytically minded. You're very rational. You're very down to earth. You're very calm. You're very composed. What events in your past when you were younger kind of do you think contributed to your personality nowadays? What kind of things influenced that?
Probably a lot of. I was a hothead in high school, or not high school, but elementary school.
Mm,
okay.
I wasn't able. I was probably autistic. I wasn't able to take jokes, and
Right.
kids would joke with me, and I would just lose my temper and fucking try to beat them up or something. And
Yeah.
usually I'd lose the fight because I sucked at fighting, and I'd get my ass kicked. And I kind of learned over time maybe not to be so calm, and eventually I learned that when people are making fun of you or when they're saying shit about you, sometimes it's not actually done maliciously. And even if it is done maliciously, trying to fight them, number one, is going to get your ass kicked, or number two, it's just going to make you look like a tool. So
Oki, you had a segue about Corpulent's work. Did you want to bring that up now? Or?
Yeah, I noticed that you had a pretty strong opinion about slice of life, and I noticed you were talking about naysayers. Was there anything that you wanted to say specifically about that? Like any of the criticism that they had against it that you felt was unjustified?
I think the criticism along the lines of it being a pandering episode was obviously unjustified because, for the most reason, because the writers came into it and then when they announced the episode, they basically said it's going to be a pandering episode.
Yeah.
So, it seems odd to
Exactly.
complain about something where they're like, yeah, we're going to do this, and then they do it, and then you complain about it.
Right.
Yeah, sorry if this is kind of putting you on the spot, but was there anyone that you had in mind when you were saying that? What?
Oki's playing the part of Ryan tonight. Go ahead.
Don't know if there was. There might have been at the time. I don't remember, though, at this point.
Yeah, it's
Why
fine.
was there someone in the community who was big against it? Was it Toon Critic or something, or?
No, it was not Toon Critic, but it was someone
Was it Jerry
was it?
Pete?
someone from Canada.
So it was Jerry Pete, obviously.
Oh,
That's the
hell.
only one.
Oh, I don't watch Jerry Pete's videos, so
Yeah,
I would
nope.
never have seen that.
See, we have brains, guys. We don't watch Jerry Pete like you do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was
we don't want to lose any more brain cells.
it was a
Sheldon
blog.
gets his style from his videos from the divine mandate of the heavens. Our Lord and Savior.
Yes, I did. I did take his idea.
Oh, actually, Corpin, I didn't see you at the Twilight King Bronycon. Have you featured in a video yet?
I didn't put it in a video yet, but I took a picture of it. I didn't want to bring it for a couple of reasons. One, it's kind of heavy, and there was a lack of room in the van I drove up in. I had 6 people with, total of 6 people, and 2 life-size Twilight Sparkle plushes. And of course, everyone's luggage and everything. So
Yeah.
luckily, the Twilight Sparkle plushes pack lightly. So it was a bit of a tight fit. I didn't want to put that in there thinking it could get wrecked or ruined and all the commotion of people in the van. And also, I didn't want to have to carry it around the convention center, possibly drop it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty solid, but the 3D printing could be slightly fragile. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard different.
Plus, it took so long for Cider to send it to me. That
He said
I wouldn't wanna
he sent it and resent it, and for whatever reasons, it just kept not getting through. I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, I don't know either, because there is a tracking number on international shipments. It doesn't give you a whole lot of tracking info, but it'll tell you when something hits customs and clears customs.
Well,
and he never gave me that number.
To be fair, even when we had our differences, I'd keep bringing up, so did Corpulent get his Twilight King yet?
Yeah.
I know you don't have the biggest opinion on video games, but you sank a fair amount of time into Legends of Equistria. Was it for socializing, or did you find the experience engrossing?
Initially, it was because of a curiosity for the game and curiosity for the world within the game, which is similar to, obviously, the show. But eventually, actually, it really surprised me how many people were playing it and how many of them I knew and how many of them I ended up meeting a bunch of people, too, that I didn't know from the game. So it became, over time, more of a socializing thing. And nowadays, it is just a socializing thing, I hang out with some of the course people.
So it's basically like Second Life for like Pony, though, more or less at this point.
It really is, because all the quests you can do in about a few hours.
If you could, have a major game company make an MLP game, what kind would it be, and would you think of a specific company you'd feel comfortable tackling that?
I really do like the MMO RPG style of LOE. So I think that would be the style of game I'd probably choose, but maybe something with obviously more time spent on quests and things like that, so it's more playable and it's not just a social interaction game.
If it were good enough, would you pay like a monthly rate for it?
Ooh, it would have to be pretty dang good for me to shell out, or a very low rate monthly.
Yeah, that is the catch for most MMOs, is they'll try and clip you for $15 a month in addition to paying like 60 or whatever the hell it is for games these days.
And MMO makes perfect sense for My Little Pony too.
It does. It totally does. But yeah, as far as company to make it, I am not adequately equipped to answer that.
Blizzard should make it.
If you want an MMO, that might be the way to go.
Yeah.
As long as they don't
Well,
put
they did the unicorn thing or whatever in Diablo 3, right? Or is that Diablo 2? I don't know.
No, that's 3. I ironically enough wasn't even to Pony yet, so it was like one of those really funny things. I went back and studied the names, and I was like, yeah, I could kind of see where they're specifically poking fun at things now.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the most horse-related trouble you've ever been in?
Horse-related trouble?
Yeah,
I mean, I've ever gotten like kicked by a.
This
tried to
fandom.
fuck a horse and got kicked.
Share us a fun Brony-related story.
I have no idea.
I can't
man.
even think of anything for Corp. Like, he never gets in trouble.
I'm not a. See, the thing is, I'm not a fun guy. So, I'm pretty fucking boring. I don't know. I seriously can't. Oh, well, maybe the bathroom brony thing was kind of interesting, the way that played out.
What's that all about?
And even the stuff. Bathroom brony was. So I was I think it was Walmart with my girlfriend, and we come into we were there specifically looking for this stuff because she heard about it online. And it's a line of bathroom products, like a child's bath, shower curtain, rug, towels, toothpaste holder, a garbage can, whole 9 yards. And she's like, you should get these. I said, I don't know. She's like, you should get them. I said, some of them look kind of cool, but I don't know if I really want to get them all or any of them. She's like, no, get them. So I spent like $180 or something that night. And I think I showed the receipt to PFC that night, but I set it all up in the bathroom, and then I'm like, you know what? I told MLP merchandise on Twitter about it, and they're like, oh, you should totally like take pictures or whatever and show it to us. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video about this.
You know what's funny? You took out one of my questions here. I was like, what do you consider a financial indulgence? Go on.
Yeah. So I took a video and I recorded the bathroom and I put it up on Tumblr because it's a really short video, and I put it in the HN chat, and Mick my cutie Marky's a gun, saw it and he retweeted it or blogged it or whatever Tumblr users do.
Yeah,
did you use
fucking get this though? Mando Pony saw that.
Uh-huh.
And Mando Pony reblogged it.
Oh, yeah, right.
And now it's got 750 notes.
And you also used Stratum, Mitzi's song in the background,
yes,
right?
I did.
Yes, which is from a Plop game. Yeah.
That was a nod.
I keep forgetting that Mitzi's actually does music.
And I also bought a domain, bathroombrony.com, so that I could direct people directly to that video whenever the thing came up. But also what has happened nowadays, though, is because of all the MLP merch, primarily, I'm apparently now like the ultimate cringiest brony.
Yeah,
I've seen
there's an article up on the ultimate or on the cringe channel, and then there's a video someone posted, and I think it got posted to /B. It's basically a copy of my video exactly, and it's got, I think, almost 20,000 views now.
Yeah, something about, I think I see him having a stroke or something like that. The fun one with the duct tape.
Oh, that's one of my earlier cringe videos. These new ones are basically a 24-minute video I did of all my MLP merch.
They're not even that cringy. Like, I can think of way cringier shit.
We forgot we were gonna do that with Stardust at Bronycon. We were gonna duct tape. I wanted to do a Black Griffin ripoff.
Oh yeah.
Good. I would have brought my duct tape for that.
I did remember to catch Voice of Reason when he fell asleep to do the eye candy joke, but that's about as far as that went.
I was there for that. I remember that.
You should be sainted for having to put up with us retards.
Corpulent, views on your channel aren't very hot right now. We're actually a lot of our channels, I guess. Are you going to continue reviewing every episode of season 5 as they air?
Nah, I've given up.
Have you really?
Yeah, because it takes too much time to do it. I can either go at it one of two ways. I can either go the Two Best Brothers Bitch About Ponies route and do like a podcast with no work put into it except recording audio, or I can go, the professional route, actually try to make an good video with lots of visuals,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a really well-written script. But that literally, I did that for the season premiere, and that is my most viewed video this season.
Oh,
But
everybody steps up their game for the premiere. It's where everybody.
oh yeah, I worked on that thing though 12 hours straight to get it out quick.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first ones out, but it took me 12 hours straight.
Was that the game? Was that the one where you ended up rendering it in like 4K or whatever it was, and it took like 36 hours or something like that to render? You put.
It wasn't 4K. I don't know what it.
That was
I don't
when
know
you
if
got
that-
into 4K or something. You're
Yeah.
like, my gimmick's gonna be 4K.
Yep.
That was a
No
long
one
time.
cared.
Corpulent
That was
Brony
no one
vision.
cared.
way before that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gave up 4K when YouTube introduced 60 FPS.
Well, not to mention that we also do a plug right now, Equistria Confidential, Equistria Now podcast. You can go to the channel on YouTube where we talk about the episode every week. So it kind of seems redundant a little bit.
It does. And I am planning a video, and I've got a script mostly written for amending fences.
Well, you could
but I
always.
haven't.
There's always the hiatus that you'll have all this content to be able to dip back to if you find your way into it. You won't have to rush a schedule back.
So
yeah, and
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. To be honest, too, I've really lost a lot of motivation to make videos.
Mhm.
There doesn't seem to be as much because I worked a lot on some videos that took a lot of effort, and they just really don't. Nothing happens with them,
Doesn't
even
pay
with.
off.
It's not even about. Yeah, I mean, there's no. I'm not looking for a monetary payout, but there's no mental payout. There's no real recognition anymore or anything, and it's just. I don't really feel like anybody really cares, and there's a lot of people out there who are really belittling the analysis community for better or for worse, and you know, nothing's really happening there.
Yeah.
So many of the analysts that get views nowadays are just so cringy to watch.
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like it's not even that though. They say shit and it's not like interesting, or it's not like analysis, and it's not what I want. And I go, what's the point in us putting all this effort into thinking about this kind of shit and making videos when no one fucking watches them? And the Brony Notion over here is getting 500 million fucking views, and he's not doing anything. He's not
even
saying anything.
He's not that horrifically bad, but there's like nothing of really great substance there. I'd say maybe like a notch or two better than Dr. Wolf.
There are at least. Well, his videos are always really short, and he never actually says anything in them.
Oh, that's why I said a notch or two better than Dr. Wolf.
No,
I didn't say. Yeah, I wasn't paying him a huge compliment, sir. Do you feel it's too many people trying to be funny? It's people trying too hard to be an entertainer at this point.
In the analysis thing?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think that's become almost the focus of these videos to the point where, like I said, they're cringy. I don't want to watch them. But this is what everyone else seems to want to watch. And I said that, you know, I feel like nobody really wants to watch my content or our content.
Yeah,
but there are a couple people who do watch it, and I just learned that these people are watching these videos, and two names pop into my head, and that is Mitch Larson and Nick Confalone.
Yeah.
Apparently the show writers, some of them are interested in these analysis videos, at least the serious ones. I doubt they're watching most of the ones that the Rift puts out.
There's no way.
Well, no, we're not. I'm trying to talk about like the higher tier. Like there was a panel which I'm probably sure you skipped over called Critiquing Through Comedy, which are Silver Quill, Josh Scorcher, Toon Critic, Nikki V, and who the hell else is on there? Voice of Reason. Basically, they spent most of the time verbally putting over Doug Walker. Do you feel that that's the issue? That there's too much relevance for that guy with the glasses, the nostalgia critic style?
You know, hold on, just to interrupt you. You know what the issue is? The issue is having those faggots do that panel, and they're not funny. They're not funny. I'm sorry.
None of them?
Go ahead.
Come on, none of them?
I'm sorry.
Who is Doug Walker?
Nostalgia critic.
Nostalgia.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that, but
You're not missing a lot.
I didn't attend the panel primarily because it was like 10 a.m. And also Toon Critic came to me the night before in registration. I ran into him and he came up to me and said, "Oh, hey, Corpulent, how's it going?" I shook hands. You know, we talked a little. It felt like okay. He seemed like a cool guy. And then he hands me this pin, this badge. You know, not a badge, but one of those pins. He hands it to me, and it's an updated version of that analysis community picture of all the analysts. And he hands it to me and says, "You're not in this, but here's the pin for you." And I
you know who's in there?
Bullshit.
You know who's in that one?
I hope you'll come to my panel tomorrow. You know who's in it?
Shark
Heather
Discusses. No, Shark Discusses is on there. Yep. I know who you're talking
Heather
about.
Blossom.
Was British Brony in
and
there?
a lot of other people are in it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you update this pin with these people who? I mean,
And not
I
put
like
the
Heather's
people on?
videos.
No, Heather's
actually
fine.
do fucking analysis, who actually try to make these fucking videos, who put their blood, sweat, and tears and artistic creativity into it, and they don't fucking put any of us on those. You're not even on there, Anthony, are you?
Oh no. Oh, I want to give a shout
Why
out.
not?
I want to give a shout out to
Why
my main
not?
bitch in the comments. Red comment. I'm looking forward to you calling us a bunch of butthurt faggots. Look forward to seeing you there.
But you know what?
Oh, that.
It was an obvious slight. It was an obvious slight.
Oh, I know.
And I didn't. That made me even want to go to that panel even less. I was like, no.
It's not like any of those people from that panel or have anything to do with the Rift. Be honest. Toon Critic isn't in the Rift. Silver Quill isn't in the Rift. Josh Scorcher left the Rift like light years ago. A long damn. Let's see who the Voice of Reason left.
So,
No, they wanted nothing to do with it.
With the possible exception of Silver Quill, I don't really watch his videos.
When
The
you-
little bit I've watched, it's pretty good.
When you watched analysis, you've cut back by now, yes? Or
Yeah.
what the last one you were really watching? So, put this into perspective. When you say that it's just lost its interest, who are you watching versus basically the last holdouts for you?
Jessie Wood, Gibbontake, and Two Best Brothers, Bitch About Bonus.
Ah, good stuff.
Because last season, they were at their fucking top of the game, all three of them, and since then they've sort of called it in, or given up.
Thank God
I've seen.
TBAP is still around. Hey, like when TBAP's done, I'm done with pony analysis. Watching it, there's nothing else out there.
I think we're golden actually. Did you enjoy yourself, Corp?
Yeah.
All right, solid. I'm gonna probably keep this one in the hole for about a week or a backup. I'll probably try and get this edited by next week. I loved having you on. I'm glad I did this. Hope you did too.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And I just want to make sure I give everyone a chance to say goodbye because last time I booked out, there was some gentleman making fun of me in the background.
Oh,
All right.
well.
All right.
Okay, guys. You know what?
Pray like
I'll
hell
see
is
you later.